Hello beautiful people, this is Milena. Today I would like to talk about where your biggest point of power lies, especially when we want something in our life, in our world, in our experience to change. Very often we find ourselves in a state, in a reality, in a state of the world, in a state of our country, in a state of our company, our family, our relationships, not exactly being the way we want them to be. And we can come up with a list of things that need to change. The system, the president, the politicians, my husband needs to change, my friends need to change, my boss needs to change, the way we do things at my company needs to change. We can always come up with a myriad of things that need to change. But this is not where our most powerful expression lies. This is not where our power lies. Because for as long as we wait for anything outside of us to change, this is what we're doing. We're waiting. And we're also allowing our own frustration and dissatisfaction with how things are to grow. We validate it, we give it more power. Where our biggest point of power lies is here. And I know you know what I'm going to say, but it is within us and how we view things, and also the states of consciousness that we embody minute to minute, day to day. It does change the external reality a lot. It is exactly the engine, the driving force that projects powerfully outward and changes the things around us. Now, that does take time. It still doesn't happen instantaneously like that. But the more of us turn their own internal engine on, the more that happens, the faster it happens, the bigger the change, the more aligned we are in what we want the change to be. Now, very often we fall into that other trap. Other people want something else. And what if we don't have enough of us that want this very thing? Don't underestimate yourself and the power of your own internal engine, because you have control of your own reality, and so do they. And just because they want something different and they embody something different doesn't mean that you cannot control and influence your own. Have you experienced days when the place that triggers you the most, maybe at work or at home, seems seemingly perfect, and you're scratching your head, kind of asking yourself, what happened? Everything that seemed to be a problem now isn't? And then there are days when it's exactly the opposite, and everything seems to be going the wrong way, and everything seems to be triggering you. Very often it has to do with where we are in our state of being, in our vibrational level. What direction is our internal engine driving our own experience in? And for many of us, we can think that this is some form of BS and that we cannot really influence and change the outside world unless we're very physically active when we do things. And yes, we can do that if we are inspired. But if we come from a place of anger and dissatisfaction with how things are, and giving it a lot of power and thinking we feel the way that we do because anything and everything outside of us is the way that it is, then we really don't have much of a chance to change it, because we continue feeding it with the same energy and feeding the very thing that we don't like. The biggest point of power, the biggest element and agent of change is you within you. And when we ask ourselves, when I don't like something or someone, what is it that I can shift within my own attitude toward them or toward it right now, even if it is to just leave or exit, then we really are stepping and standing in our own power and using it consciously. The more we test it, the more we will see the enormous impact that it has on our seemingly external circumstances. And I'm saying seemingly external because so much more of what we experience outside of us depends on what we feel and what we do with our own inner energy and vibration than what we tend to think. And sometimes I do forget. Sometimes I go into blaming others and being frustrated and annoyed with certain things and the way that they are. But if I remember to go within myself and see if I can make the tiniest little shift and tweak within myself sometimes, the results that I see are tremendous. And when I see that, I can't help but apply it more and more and more in practice in my own life. Because you, in your own energy, your own internal compass and engine and energy, has so much more power than everything else outside of us that we tend to give power to. And if you're not quite sure where to begin with or how to start tweaking that so that you can have an instantaneously different experience for smaller things or bigger things in your life, book a session at askmilena.com. Subscribe to my newsletter and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Click on the bell so that you can get notified of all future videos. They come out on Friday. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.